This happened last year when I was around like 15 years old. Me and my friend, I'll just call her Kate, were messing around in our neighborhood one day. We were on the other side of the road, playing around with sparkles and other stuff like that. You know what kids usually do. Suddenly, Kate said turn around and look behind me. I did. And when I looked at the home behind us, I saw someone looking through the window directly at us. I couldn't really tell what he looked like, so I just ignored it and turned back around. A few minutes later, Kate said look again. I did, but this time there was a woman with him at the window, staring directly at us. They were just staring at us, and I began to feel uneasy, to be honest. But again, I just turned around and ignored them. There's nothing much I can do anyways. As the sun went down, I walked back to my house, which was across the street, and Kate went to hers, which was a few blocks away. A couple hours later, at around 10, my phone lit up. I was watching Orange is the New Black, so at first I ignored it. Then I got another alert, so I picked up my phone and looked at my screen. My two alerts were from Snapchat. Someone added me, and their username was something like Jaden with a few numbers after it, and then they sent me a picture for some unknown reason. I ignored that message as you thought, and around 7 and 6 minutes later, I got another Snapchat from the same guy, and this time, it was a black screen saying, "Why didn't you answer?" Again, I just ignored the snap and went back to Netflix. When my phone buzzed again, I didn't even bother looking at it. It's probably the same guy just being weird. Throughout the episode, I got around 4 more alerts, which I all ignored, and then I fell asleep afterwards. When I woke up the next morning, I had 11 alerts. Most of them were black screens just saying, "Why aren't you answering?" or "I know you're awake, so just answer me." I say by far the last one freaked me out the most. It was a picture of my house taken from across the street, with a caption saying, "Answer me now." I was stupid, so I didn't screenshot the pictures he sent me, but I did block him. I didn't hear anything for a few days, but then I got another alert that says someone added me. It was the same username as before, but with a 1 after it. Then I got sent multiple snaps. I didn't open any of them because I was in the class. 4 hours later, I checked my Snapchat. All the pictures he sent me were pictures of me, some were during lunch and some were when I was walking home from school. Again, I blocked the user and I didn't get any screenshots last night. I got a snap of my window, again taken from across the street, and from the same user, but this time with a 2 after it. I finally had enough and I just told my dad. He freaked out and he called the police. When they arrived, I told them everything, but they couldn't do anything since I didn't get any screenshots. I deleted Snapchat, but he has found me on other social medias. I blocked him on everything, and I'm thinking about just deleting everything at this point. If anybody have any ideas what to do, please let me know. My name is Samantha Starling, and these events only happened around 7 months ago. I happened to be at my boyfriend's house. We lived in the woods for the week because of the holidays and one before Christmas. I had completely forgotten to get a present. Instead of patiently waiting for the morning, I was far too excited and I decided to go to the store later to that night. As I snuck out of bed and heard what I thought to be the cold air howling outside of the window, the noises stopped as I heard a loud and heavy thump in the basement. My boyfriend's washing machine had been broken for quite a while, and at this point it made strange noises, so I assumed there was nothing despite my intuition telling me otherwise. So I quickly put on my jacket and I got to the car. Upon entering, I continued to turn the heat on and wait about 20 minutes. As it was extremely cold on that night, and at the time, I hadn't realized the power had completely cut out. As it got time to pull out of the driveway, I thought I heard another thump. Only this time, my instincts are giving me way stronger signals than before. I then began to rush out of my car and I stopped in shock, as I noticed large footprints that looked to be from something like a clown shoe and beaded into the snow, and red droplets from what seemed to be blood followed by them. I then screamed in terror as I noticed the open cellar door that went to my basement. It had blood on the handles of it. I should have been quick to leave at the time, but I just had to check on my boyfriend. I then dialed 911 without any hesitation, and what I saw as I talked to the dispatcher on the other side of the phone will haunt me for the rest of my life, honestly. As soon as I opened the door, I could sense something was wrong, but I just couldn't help myself, so I crept upstairs slowly and whispered as the dispatcher told me not to go inside the house. None would slip through the walls until I could hear faint groaning noises led by the sound of giggles that echoed from ear to ear, followed by them. I started crying and pleaded with the operator to send help because the sounds I heard coming from the bedroom were not my boyfriend's. I crept upstairs as I peeked into the dead solid hallway that led to the bedroom and noticed a dark red substance on the doorknob. As I rapidly thought to myself, had someone really got into my house? Is my boyfriend okay? Is someone going to hurt me? The thinking all began to come to a halt as I heard the sounds of the hallway creak and the sound of giggles began inching its way towards the door. I quickly ran downstairs and ran into my car. As the tears running down my face felt colder and colder, and as the snow zipped through the air, I saw a figure with those bright red clown shoes and a disgusting stained Santa Claus suit standing at my front door with one amputated arm waving at me in my car. I watched them sobbing my heart out, and noticing something that could only come out of a nightmare, I began to try to turn on the ignition and drive out as I noticed something else. Screaming loud in agony for my boyfriend's suit was on the other hand of the clowns, I began to ramble in tears. I couldn't stop crying, and the sound of giggles rang through the car, and it wouldn't turn on as the figure kept laughing and coming closer. I thought it was over, step by step and closer, until the sounds of sirens rang through the fateful night, and the large figure with the clown shoes dropped their head in arm as it ran through the trees, disappearing before the police could get a good look at him. What was seen in that bedroom that night was nothing less than something out of a horror film. The police tried calming me down, but I could obviously notice the terror in their eyes, as I even saw an officer run out of the house and vomit in the snow. They searched the woods near the property for weeks, but couldn't find a trace. Only a pair of dark red clown shoes about half a mile away from the horror house. I now live in the city and I avoid the woods at all costs, pleading that every day I don't have to hear those giggles or see a pair of clown shoes ever again. I was 16 and me and my friends I called Even and Jack wanted to rent a hotel for the night since it was spring break. We got to the hotel and checked in. It had a really funky smell, but we still stayed. Once we got to our room, it was about 3 p.m. So we decided to go swimming. The pool was downstairs departed from the hotel. Once we got to the entrance, there was a man at least 6'3" in all black, with a hood covering his face facing us. I panicked a little bit, but not out loud. We got into the pool and started swimming for a few hours, until we saw that man again in all black, sitting on a chair by the pool. I cleared my throat and asked, can I help you, sir? I asked. No response. That's when I started getting a little paranoid. I put my face in the water and at the bottom of the pool, there was another figure that was dressed in all black. I screamed like a little girl and ran for the door. I looked back and saw nothing. Not the guy in the chair or the guy under the pool. My friends thought I was seeing things, but I saw what I saw as clear as water. I honestly didn't feel like swimming anymore, so I decided to get dinner at a nearby restaurant. I got a table for me and my friends to sit at, and there I saw once again the man in all black. On the other side of the dining room, and he was staring at me. I had enough of this guy disturbing my privacy. I went over there and I lost track of him, and he took off. After we decided this trip has gone too far and we should leave tomorrow, my friends didn't like that idea. Once it was 10:30 p.m., I and my friends dozed off in a hotel room. I woke up to some noises. I saw a shadow figure at the end of my bed. I calmed myself down and told myself that it was my hat that I put there before I went to bed. I went to bed and got woken up 30 minutes later to more noises. I was getting thirsty, so I reached under my bed and tried to grab my water bottle. But I grabbed something and I was totally shocked by what I grabbed. It was my hat. I was not ever scared in my life. I couldn't help but scream at the top of my lungs when I heard a voice next to my ear say, "You're a bitch." I jumped out of bed and realized it was two men in all black. I tried to fight them off, but it was no use. I tried to scream, but that guy was covering my mouth. I passed out and woken up in a stretcher. It turned out those guys knifed me while I was passed out, and someone caught them. Unfortunately, the doctor said no one could catch the guys who got me. To this day, I always have a night light at night, so I'm not scared. That's going to be it for today's video. Also, if you guys have any problems with me or spot some issues, let me know and I'll fix them. One more thing. I know the title says 3 true chilling Reddit horror stories, but only 2 of them were a Reddit story, and 1 of them were my friends. I'll post the links to the Reddit stories in the description down below, in case you guys want to look at it for yourselves and to give them credit, of course. And if you like my content, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification button. And I'll catch you guys next time.